Ocean life affected by climate change. Imagine a world where coral reefs disappear and sea creatures struggle to survive. This is not science fiction, but a reality unfolding in our oceans due to climate change. Climate change is a heavily altering ocean environment, threatening marine species and the ecosystems they support. First, we'll examine how rising ocean temperatures affect marine life. Second, we'll explore how acidification is altering the chemistry of the ocean itself. Finally, we'll look at how these changes impact ecosystems and how threatening they can be. Let's begin by looking at the biggest factors of climate change and how rising temperatures affect the ocean. For the first point, we'll look at how one of the most immediate and damaging effects towards the ocean is caused by climate change in reaching intense temperatures, and also to understand that these changes are unlike the changes when on land, which could be seen and felt. Ocean warming can occur beneath the surface, but can be very severe. According to United Nations in a website, the ocean has taken up more than 90% of the excess heat in the climate change system, meaning that temperatures keep rising up, more frequent marine life heat waves, and coral bleaching, and even loss of marine habitats. In At Every Depth, a book by Tessa M. Hill and Eric Simmons emphasize that the rising temperatures are not just on the surface level, but the warming can occur at all depths, altering marine species behavior and their migration patterns as well. While warming affects habitats and the behavior, another invisible danger is lurking in the water acidification. For my second point, another effect of climate change is when the ocean becomes more acidic, causing a more long-term decrease in the pH and how they affect surrounding marine life and their ecosystems. According to the article, the impacts of ocean acidification on marine ecosystems and reliant human communities by Scott C. Donnie and other collaborators explain that the rising CO2 levels are lowering the ocean pH, which can weaken the shell of marine organisms like plankton, mollusks, and threatens the coral reef growth. Hill and Simmons, the authors of the book, stated previously and also highlight how acidification disrupts predator-prey relationships and reduces reproductive success in marine species. These physical and chemical changes are truly rippling through entire ecosystems, but they are even starting to affect us as well. Ecosystem disruption and human consequences. For my final point, we'll discuss how climate change affects the oceans, in which leads to affect us all as well. These consequences affect us from achieving food, jobs, and overall climate regulation. The article earlier by Scott also warns about climate-driven changes in ocean conditions and how they disrupt food chains and reduce biodiversity, threatening the coastal communities and economies that depend on fishing and tourism itself. The combined effects of warming, acidification, and habitat loss can lead to species extinction and loss of ecosystems, and loss of their services as well in carbon storage and shoreline protection. Now that we have understood how climate change has been affecting ocean life, let's begin to look at the overall final part. The health of ocean life is rapidly deteriorating due to the rising temperatures and acidification and environmental disruption caused by climate change. As seen as this picture right here, we can see how climate change has been affecting. So this is the current present time. The ice itself is melting, and in future you can see how ice is most likely going to be gone by then because of the rising temperatures. And we can see right here in the salinity, it doesn't change much, but it slightly decreases in the future time. But if you look at the temperatures, there's a huge increase, and that's causing the ice to melt. And we can see how the acidification, how it can happen due to the salinity, and how it's going to affect it in the future. And as mentioned, it's going to, for sure, hurt the ecosystem and marine life. And as we looked at how heat waves harm marine life, and how ocean acidification affects biological processes, and how these problems threaten ecosystems and human livelihoods. Without urgent action, the damage to ocean life is projected to increase. Rising temperatures and acidification and disruptions in ecosystems are currently affecting marine life and already affecting food chains and their biodiversity. Continued environmental stress is expecting for an effect of the ocean chemistry, biological productivity, and the overall balance of marine ecosystems on a global scale. In order for me to close, I will mention that the oceans cover more than 70% of our planet. If we don't protect it, we risk losing it, and not just marine life itself, but the balance of life on Earth as well. Thank you.